Good evening. 60 minutes, still not enough for the Chiefs and the 49ers. For the second time in NFL history, the Super Bowl tonight went to overtime. The 49ers and Chiefs went back and forth all game before ending regulation tied at 19 apiece. The new overtime rules require both teams to get a possession in the playoffs. The 49ers scored a field goal with their possession, but the Chiefs scored a touchdown, winning now their fourth Super Bowl in franchise history. Something to chew on. The Broncos technically beat the Super Bowl championships this year, right? That's something. Jacob Toby will have highlights coming up in sports. After another round of snow this weekend, things were much calmer today. Those mild temperatures should continue into this week. Corey, every week it's nice, every weekend it snows anymore.
That's the pattern we're in, and believe it or not, our next system will be coming on the weekend, so we'll talk about that in just a little while on a Friday. But right now, just an absolutely gorgeous night here, mostly clear skies over the city of Denver right now. It's 31 degrees here at the 9 News studios, 27 degrees out at Denver International Airport. It's going to be a pretty chilly night here. Here's the low temperatures that are forecast across the region, probably getting down to the teens once again here in Denver with a low of 19 degrees in the morning and some pretty chilly temperatures up there in the mountain valleys as we go into the day on Monday. Now take a look at the other side of the state here where the temperatures are just a little bit warmer but still sticking in the 20s. Looks like my little clicker is stuck for right now, so I'll send it back to you now, Jenny, but we'll get back to some more forecast in just a little while.
Have a working clicker. Okay, Corey, thank you. A backcountry skier was killed in an avalanche today near Crested Butte. This is according to the Colorado Avalanche Information Center. This is now the second deadly avalanche of the season. CAIC says forecasters will visit that accident site tomorrow. There's some new tech that was supposed to make this situation better, but sure enough, the TSA lines at DIA were a mess this morning. TSA says they just don't have enough staff to cover it. It was less than a week ago the airport opened a new security checkpoint, the West Terminal. The tech there is supposed to make that line go faster. But a spokesperson for TSA said they didn't add new staff to work these checkpoints, so with staff so spread out, fewer people are working at each individual checkpoint. From 8 to noon today, it was extremely busy, and there was another surge of people going through TSA in the afternoon. Unpaid internships often come with a big cost. You get the experience, but can you afford to work and learn without any pay? DACA and undocumented students often face extra barriers to professional opportunities. MSU Denver has created a new pathway to help students like this. Here's Angeline McCall.
MSU Denver's campus, educators don't want students to turn down opportunities because of pay, or rather lack thereof.
Many internships are unpaid, but that does mean it becomes a bit of a luxury to be able to pursue that kind of opportunity.
Gregor Meter, Director of Immigrant Services at MSU, says previously the college could only offer internships for college credit to DACA students or those who are undocumented.
And it's very, very difficult for that student population to simply take the time away from working to provide for families, to take care of family members, to focus on school full time, and also have the benefit of taking on an internship.
MSU secured funding last fall to provide stipends through a Dream.US scholarship to eligible students from immigrant backgrounds, meaning internships just for credit aren't the only option anymore.
So one of the really important benefits of this specific program through the Dream.US scholarship is that it provides students an opportunity to receive some compensation for taking on unpaid internships or fellowships.
MSU hopes this means no student will be limited to pursue an opportunity, opening more doors for their education and career in the future.
One of the things that certainly I see when I work with immigrant background students and students who are not U.S. citizens is just the tenacity and the hard work that those students and their family members bring to their education, that they bring to the workforce. They consistently want nothing more than to contribute to Colorado as professionals.
Besides this program, there's another program for all students, regardless of background. It's called Earn and Learn, which offers a similar type of stipend. The team at MSU says they're constantly looking for opportunities to open the doors and level the playing field for students who may have additional barriers when it comes to education.
All right, Angeline, thank you. I-76 closed for several hours today near Fort Morgan after a hit-and-run crash that caused a semi-truck to catch fire. Colorado State Patrol says the crash happened around 12:30 today, 2 miles west of Fort Morgan. Troopers say that crash involved a box truck and a semi-truck. They said the driver of the box truck left the scene. The semi-truck caught fire, but the driver was not injured. Westbound lanes of I-676 reopened around 5:30 tonight. Tomorrow, Denver City Council members will have another chance to talk about a bill that led Mayor Johnston to his first veto. This was an ordinance that would ban homeless sweeps when it's under 32 degrees. It's back on the agenda for tomorrow night again. When explaining why he vetoed that bill, Johnston says it would restrict the city's ability to get people experiencing homelessness into a shelter 4 months out of the year. He says there would be exceptions if there are public health and safety risks, and he's been working since he was elected to get thousands of people living on the streets into shelters. So City Council narrowly passed that ordinance in the first place to ban those sweeps. Council President Jamie Torres says the council plans to take another vote and try to override that veto, but council does not appear to have the votes to actually do so. A major road in Arvada is closed tonight after somebody crashed into a railroad crossing and then drove off. 72nd Avenue is now closed between Kipling and Oakland Street. Arvada police say the damage from that crash made the area unsafe. Students at Lincoln Academy and Oberon Middle, which both off 72nd, will have a pickup and drop-off site on side streets tomorrow because this closure will last through then. Police hope the damage can be fixed by Tuesday morning. The driver behind the crash, don't know a lot about that person. We just know that it was a white Dodge pickup truck. Well, it's a strange way to make a friend. One person diagnosed with a rare form of cancer, the other assigned to guide him through it. Rachel Krause shows us how a friendship that started inside of Advent Health Porter continues far beyond the hospital halls.
Over the past 4 years, Brian Jump and Jared Ediger have become close friends.
Yes.
Brought together because Brian got seriously sick.
But it progressively got worse and worse and worse.
After all kinds of tests, finally, an answer.
It came back positive for a really rare form of pancreatic cancer.
So rare.
I was told that nobody survives this cancer, really.
His health was declining quickly. Doctors got to work.
So they actually removed my entire pancreas, my gallbladder, my spleen, and 45 lymph nodes going from my belly button up to my throat.
Soon after that diagnosis, he got a call from his oncology navigator, Jared.
Really, just like from the beginning, Jared has really been a blessing.
At the time, there was so many barriers with COVID and his young age that I feel like he needed a little bit more coaching to deal.
COVID halted support groups and slowed resources. Unable to bring anyone besides his diabetic alert dog Lily in for chemo, Brian felt isolated.
When some of those resources weren't available, Jared made himself available.
Meeting up at treatments or for coffee or just catching up over the phone, Brian and Jared began opening up.
We've developed a pretty tight bond.
Both of us being willing to allow the other person to into the friendship and to be vulnerable with each other. And I've never felt like I am an inconvenience or a burden to Jared.
You know, now that you're more into the healthy mode, it's like, okay, I'm ready to move on with life, but what do I do now? Mm-hmm. And I think he knows what to do. Sometimes I just help him explore that.
Years after the diagnosis, Brian's health is improving.
I know the bond will always be there, but it just means that you just don't need me as much.
Yeah, exactly.
The conversations are changing.
Yep. We got to get him back in the dating world maybe a little bit too on the side. So
both grateful for what their friendship still has in store.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say as long as I am, still around and cancer hasn't taken me, I'll be bugging Jared.
Yep. That's fine. Keep bugging me, however long.
And treasuring every moment and milestone together along the way.
So I think knowing that those relationships could come to an early end up making them that much more valuable and beautiful.
Well said.
Both say they are so grateful for the friendship they've created and the support system they've built for one another. Now they're both looking forward to celebrating when Brian hits the 5-year mark, where he can officially be considered cancer-free.
We're all rooting for him. All right, Rachel, thanks for sharing that story.